So we have our pork roast here, and what we're going to do is trim off the extra fat. Sometimes the roast Boston butt like this will have skin on it, and you're going to want to trim that off as well. I find that the best way to do it is you lift up a corner of it, and you use short strokes with the front edge of the knife across right where the fat meets the meat. And you can usually peel it, pull it, and peel it back as you do it. You can usually get right in there and you don't cut off too much meat while you're doing it, and you don't waste anything. We're gonna make the dry rub for the pork now. We're gonna start with salt. You can measure them. The measurements are gonna be in the description for the video. I like to just kind of freehand it. About a tablespoon or two of salt. Pretty good amount of pepper. Some cayenne pepper, just a couple dashes, depends on how hot you like it. Cayenne's pretty spicy, whereas chili powder is not that spicy, so don't overdo the cayenne. Onion powder. Wasn't coming out very well. Garlic powder. And paprika. Okay, now you're going to put in a splash of apple cider vinegar. You just want to make it into sort of a paste, because if it's all powdery, it's going to go all over the place. But if it's a paste, it'll stick together nicely and let you rub it in a little bit better without getting messy. Now we're going to rub this all over our roast. And you're going to want to cook it with the side that was the fattiest on the top. Since you probably can't get all the fat, that'll let it, the fat will cook down through the meat and roast it and baste it while it's cooking. So now we're going to put it in the oven at about 225 to 250, depending on how slowly you want to cook it. The slower you cook it, I think the better it is, but the longer it takes. And we're going to leave it in there for about 4 hours before you start checking the temperature. When it gets to 190 is when you're going to take it out. All right, so my pork just reached 190 degrees. It took about 6 hours, but I was actually on 230 instead of 250 because I had a lot of time to do it. So if you're on lower than 250, it may actually take more time. So here's our roast. We're gonna just take it right off the roasting rack. Don't be surprised if it falls apart. It's super tender. Shred it. And actually it's been resting a little bit, so it's cooled down some. If it's still burning hot, I would not recommend that you pick it up with your hands. You just shred it up like this. If you want to use a knife to make it more chopped than shredded, you're welcome to do that. There you go, some pulled pork barbecue. If you want, you can make some more of the dry rub. You can sprinkle that on top as more sauce or as more seasoning, or you can use sauce if you want.